War. War never changes.
What's up, Wastelanders? Boys and girls, prepare to be astounded, bedazzled, and otherwise stupefied.
You talk a lot. Sound funny when you talk like a stupid human. I am online once again. Tremble, world, before my electric heating coil of doom.
What's up, Wastelanders? Hello and welcome to Tapes from the Wastes, Fallout fan podcast, bringing you chat on all things Fallout. We are back once again. I'm one of your hosts, KDB, and later, as always, you'll be hearing from my fellow Wastelander, my co-host, Eric, aka Sulior. Now, we are here with kind of an update and news-focused episode, because there's been a lot going on in the world of Fallout in the last few weeks, last 2 or 3 weeks. There's a lot going on in gaming. There's crazy stuff happening all over. But Fallout, yeah, there's a load of stuff going on, and I'm very excited today to give you some thoughts on a few things, and that's what we're going to do. So, for those who don't know, I mean, if you are listening to this, you're probably well aware, the two main Fallout news drops, or updates if you like, are first we had a big new content drop to Fallout 76, which was, of course, the Atlantic City expeditions and new scoreboard. And this is for Atlantic City, this is the first of 2 updates, right? So we were told that we're going to get expeditions and then some story content later. So we have that update to talk about. And then also, finally, at last, it is here. A week or so ago, just over a week ago now, we had finally the official release of the first trailer to the Fallout TV show, coming to Amazon Prime, April 12th, 2024. I am so excited. I'm just going to get that out of the way. I'm going to talk about the trailer quite a bit in a minute, and I'm going to start with the Fallout 76 update. Eric's going to give his thoughts too. As always, you know, for those who are new listeners to the show, we sometimes record together, but just because of schedules and stuff and trying to stay consistent and get the content out, we do record segments. So you can listen to me ramble on, and then you can listen to Eric ramble on, and then I'll be back at the end to round out the episode. But yeah, we did a recording last week for Starfield Sandwich. That's our Starfield podcast. And that was around the time the trailer had dropped, and I mentioned on there that we were going to be talking about it on this episode. And I've kind of been waiting all week to get to the weekend. It's Saturday here today. It's Saturday the 9th of December. I've got a bit of free time this afternoon, so I'm jumping on quick to finally get my thoughts recorded. But if you've been listening to the show for a while, you'll know that I have been we've both been, everyone's been, all Fallout fans have been eagerly anticipating more news and updates on this show. And in the past kind of couple of months, we've started to get them. I am going to get to the trailer more in a minute. What I need to do is I need to start with Fallout 76. Well, first, let's talk about, do I have some general gameplay? General gameplay is, I've been playing Fallout 76. That is my general gameplay. I've been playing a couple of other things. I've been really back into Gears of War and Gears 5. I've been racking up some of the old achievements on there that I hadn't unlocked. I do have a Gears of War podcast, Gears at Intel. Go and listen to that if you're interested in Gears of War. But my gameplay has been Fallout 76. The update is here. So, as mentioned, this is the first of 2 updates. This is the expedition update. Of course, we got the new scoreboard and the new content and stuff. Which we get regularly, the new season. But these are our first 2 new expeditions since the pit. And if you remember our sort of review episode on the pit, expeditions, they are not really for me. So I'm going to talk about this. I'll talk about my Fallout 76 gameplay and this expedition update. So what we have is, you'll know, I'm sure, we've got the 2 expeditions, and they take you to this new location, to Atlantic City. 2 new locations, I should say. One's like the boardwalk area with the beach, and the other is the more city-based casino type area. And yeah, so my excitement for Atlantic City, when I heard about it, I mean, first I was very excited, but then as I started to learn that it was expeditions, my excitement kind of cooled off a bit, because expeditions are basically like giant daily ops. Is a really kind of, that's maybe oversimplifying it a little bit, but that's kind of what they are. They are targeted at group play, and they're effectively raids, right? This is the thing that you see in a lot of live service games. Destiny has raids. I'm going to forget what it's called across all the other games, but I know this concept of this mission that a group of people go on to, grind XP and gain exclusive loot and legendary items and all that kind of stuff. That's what expeditions are. They're not massively long, but if you do them by yourself, I mean, they're a struggle to do by yourself anyway. If you do them with a high-level team, you'll probably get through them in about 10 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes quicker if you're all really good. But yeah, so my previous time with the pit wasn't great. Like, I really, really appreciated the work that went into it, and I want to be clear about that, and I was clear about it in the past. The work gone into it, and the fact that it's a free update as well, it's kind of unbelievable. So that is awesome. Huge thumbs up. It's just not really, it's not how I play Fallout. It's not how I play Fallout 76 even. I mean, I've squatted up very, very rarely on Fallout 76. It's a multiplayer game, so maybe more fool me. They always said you could play Fallout 76 solo, and you can. You 100%, 1000% can. But there are aspects of the game that you are going to be kind of struggling if you are playing solo, and that's with some of the events. The events are public as well, so generally people will join, but there's, I think of like Radiation Rumble, which is an event in Fallout 76. If you try to do that by yourself, you're probably going to fail, unless you're an absolute master at the game, which I am definitely not. So expeditions, they're aimed at group play, squadding up, and all 4 of you to go and tear through the expedition. And it's not how I play these games. So Atlantic City, I learned that it was expeditions, and I was excited that the content was coming, and I had the same approach, the same sort of feeling going into it. I'm here to scope out the work that's been done by the devs, and just appreciate what they've done, see the new locations, meet some new characters maybe. And do my best to have fun with it. So my experience kind of went like this. I played the day that the update dropped, and the what are they called? I'm just going to bring up the names of them both. So we have Tax Evasion and the Most Sensational Game. The first one I dropped into was Tax Evasion. Now, this is the one where you arrive and character Billy Belt Buckles, which is an incredible name. You come across him, and he's being held up by somebody, and then he basically gives you the mission. He gives you the expedition, and he talks about trying to. So the mob that run the casinos, they're trying to, I guess, continue their efforts, and there's these people called the Showman. That's right, the Showman that they owe money to. And yeah, so I'm not going to get into the details of all the story here. Maybe Eric will do some of that, but I'm just going to talk about my experience. So this tax evasion expedition, you arrive in the casino quarter, which is, like I say, it's not the boardwalk one. You're in the city, and you're outside the front of the casino. And I knew it was an expedition, but I thought, I'm going to try and do it by myself. I'm going to try and solo it, because I'm just going to see... I just wanted to see the location. I wanted to have a look. And that was my first mistake, I suppose, because I got there and I was having a look around. And then after your first chat with Billy, the expedition started. And I believe there's a couple of ways for this expedition to go. So there's different objectives that it can give you, and I received what did I receive? I think it was the one where you have to disable the signal jammer. So yeah, there's a couple of, like I said, there's a couple of random objectives that it can give you. And anyway, but the main thing that I encountered was just the wave of enemies. All of the auditors, I think they're called, that come at you with flamethrowers and machine guns, is it? Like I'm level 170, nearly 170. Pretty good weapons, pretty good armor, and I'm kind of okay at the game. But they're all level 100, these enemies, and they're very difficult to take out, and they just kind of swarm you. And I was just dying like every 20 seconds. So I was instantly taken back to my experience with the pit, which was me going, okay, this isn't going to be fun playing just by myself. So yeah, I just didn't get any further. I just gave up. I quit out, and I was like, right, I don't really have time to play anymore right now, because I think I was trying for a good 25 minutes, and I'd eaten into my bit of gaming time. So I gave up, and I thought I'll try again the next day. So the next day, I did it properly. I looked for groups that were playing the expedition, and I joined them. And so then I got through both expeditions. I got to experience them. So what are they called? So there's tax evasion, and the other one is the most sensational game. That's it. So I got to do them both, and I suppose I would say my broad overall feeling is, yep, they're expeditions. They do some very minor tasks while avoiding or taking out very high level enemies, waves of them. I say waves, or endless amounts of them, it feels like sometimes. And gain your loot and gain your XP. And I don't know if I'm just becoming kind of jaded with this sort of way of playing games, this raid style thing, this expedition thing that we've got, but it's just kind of fine. Like it's not how I want to play Fallout. I know that there's story in the expeditions, and the bits of story that I was getting, it was cool. There's some new characters. I'm trying to think. I don't have all of their names in front of me right now, but Mother Charlotte from the most sensational game, I thought she was great. And I know there's stuff to kind of latch on there, but it's all happening so fast when you're playing through the expedition that there's no real time to soak it up. You have conversations, obviously, with the people who initiate the expeditions, like Billy, and the others are the twins, and yeah, you get little bits there, but it's just, I just wanted more. I wanted more time to speak to these characters, to explore the areas. And I guess you can do, if you just take out every enemy, I suppose, then you can walk around. But it's all very frantic. It wasn't really giving me the opportunity to, I'm not setting up a camp there or anything like that. So it all just felt kind of fleeting. So as a broad overall thing for both the expeditions, like, they're expeditions. That you know what to expect. It's not really how I like to play Fallout. It's not even how I like to play Fallout 76, even though the game is geared towards that kind of playing. So yeah, it's fine. And then I played them again and again, and I did them. I got the achievement, which is lead and complete the expeditions. And the good thing about when an update like this drops is everybody's doing the expedition. Well, not everybody, but a large group of players are doing the expeditions. So you can set up a new public team and do expeditions. And generally, people were joining me within like 2 minutes. And people who are of a much higher level than me as well. So, like I said, I'm nearly level 170 something, and I was having level 400, 500s. I had a level 1,000 person join. And it's like, when these people join your team, yeah, you just sort of breeze through the expeditions. These definitely felt easier. Like, even with that in mind, that the higher level people help you out. Like with the pit expeditions, even with higher level people, they definitely felt slightly more of a struggle. Maybe it's just the luck of my playthroughs and the luck of the teams I got, but these expeditions definitely felt easier. which I guess I appreciated because it just meant I could get through them. So yeah, I will play them some more because I'm back in the mode now of playing Fallout 76 a bit more regularly after, certainly through Starfield, making me take a bigger break from it. I'm going to keep doing them, and maybe this is a thing where it's like I'm punishing myself I'm trying to force myself to like them by keeping to play them. It's a good way to get XP and loot, so if I get the time, I'm gonna keep playing them, and I'm gonna see what else I can get out, see what I can wring out of these expeditions, because as I said, despite them not being my preferred way to play the game, amazing work has gone into it, and I can't thank the devs enough for that, because we're still getting this content. We're so lucky. And I know that there's loads of people out there that love expeditions, and they've got their teams. Eric is being incredibly social with Fallout 76. He's got people to play with all the time. So it just kind of makes it a bit more enjoyable if you're approaching it in that sense. But for me, kind of introverted solo player, I want those lengthy story quests that I can do by myself and feel like I'm really achieving by myself and I'm discovering things by myself, rather than the chaos of the expeditions. They're fun, they're just not really for me. I did really like the Overgrown. So the Overgrown are these new creatures, I guess, and there's loads of different types of them. Like they sort of look like a mix between like a sea creature and like a Bigfoot. They're really, really weird. Let's see if I can just find a bit more information about them here. Let's open up the Fallout wiki. And we've got... Yeah, because I guess through playing and through these conversations, people will have found out more. So from the Fallout wiki here, thank you to the contributors to there. Overgrown, a family of creatures found in Atlantic City. Among the locals, they're also known as plant folk. Yeah, they almost look like sea creatures and sea plants. Overgrown, horribly mutated flora from the pine barrens near the city, who constantly threaten the settlement's borders. They are kept at bay by the efforts of Atlantic City municipal government's recently founded forestry division. Despite the low intelligence, they are deadly and constantly try to enter the city. they are a pain in the ass. Like, there's different types of them. They're a bit like big, muscly ghouls or scorched, but they can wield weapons as well. They like firing rockets and shit like that at you, so that's fun. There's one that's a bit like a floater as well. I think it's called a... let's see if it says here. The Pollinator, a levitating Overgrown with tendrils and many eye-like bulbs. It follows and supports the humanoid Overgrown, preferring elders over thorns. Yeah, maybe we'll do some lore stuff on these because, I might try and sort of face off with a few more of them and see what I think, and we can talk more about them. I'll ask Eric what he thinks about them for a future episode as well, because I liked them. I thought they were a good addition. But yes, so broadly, I'm glad the update's here. Got a new scoreboard, 2 new locations, 2 new expeditions to visit, and we have the promise that we're going to be able to explore this area more with story content, right? I'm sure I'm not imagining that. I think the way they've sort of sold this is like part 1 of the update that's coming. So I'm looking forward to future stuff when there'll be more story-based stuff to do. Anyway, so moving on to the next piece of news, which is, of course, the Fallout TV trailer. It's time to get into the nitty-gritty of this. I've mentioned that once this show drops, this podcast is going to become... we're going to be putting out weekly episodes, giving our reactions to every episode. So please do look forward to that. I'm excited to start planning that in. But the trailer, what did I think of the trailer? Well, I suppose, as I've said, I'm very, very excited. If you were to ask me what is my biggest takeaway just from watching the trailer, I'm not going to break down every frame here. By the way, there's people out there that have done like frame by frame breakdowns and things like that. Go and check them out on YouTube. Because there's a lot in this trailer. But my biggest takeaway personally, and I've been saying this with just the images and the images and stuff that we've seen already. Because before this trailer dropped, there was a Variety article which had an interview with people involved with the show where they talked about it a lot more. Todd Howard contributed to that as well, and we got a bunch of new details there, which was really exciting. But it's this trailer here where, they've really showed off a lot of it in action. And my biggest takeaway is just how amazingly faithful this looks to Fallout. I've said it before, as a suffering Resident Evil fan that has had to endure 20 years of adaptations which dance between comically inaccurate to the games to completely in another dimension of stuff, that is just nothing like the games, to using some DNA of the games and making it their own, to full on being very, very faithful but just not having good script and not being put together. And there's so many movies and TV shows for Resident Evil, CG and live action and otherwise. It's all over the shop. But for Fallout, this looks like they care. They care about making this faithful. They care about getting that detail right. It feels like okay, just visually, like all the colors and the iconography is there. Like you pick it apart all day long. The vault, the vault dweller suits, the Diamond City like town that they're in, just the signage that's all around the place. It feels like they are pulling stuff from the game and bringing it to life. I mean, I think for any trepidation that Fallout fans might have had, and most Fallout fans, I should say, I'm going to get to something else in a minute, that Fallout fans might have had, I think this trailer has just washed that away, because it feels like it has, really importantly, we wanted the tone to be right, and this has the violence, the weirdness, and it seems to have the humor as well, because the way the trailer was cut was cut for a couple of laughs. It was cut for a mix of horror and laughs, and that was all there, all present and correct in the trailer. Like, I almost couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, in a year where we've had this Last of Us adaptation, Super Mario Brothers, and then like last year, obviously Sonic, a couple of years before that, Sonic and Sonic 2. There's more. Video game adaptations are generally increasing in quality. And Last of Us this year obviously was fantastic. And I think production companies or distributors and stuff like Amazon, Netflix, or movie studios are starting to realize, if we take this stuff seriously and get it right, there is a extremely large and devoted audience of fans that will tune in and watch this, or subscribe to our platform and watch this if we get it right. And just, my God, they have got it right. And obviously, this is just a trailer. I've been tricked many a times in the past with trailers. They put all the good bits in the trailer, or the tone is completely different to what you end up with the actual film or TV show. That's 100% possible. I'm feeling more. My gut is telling me that's not going to be the case with this. Amazon have absolutely thrown money at this show. The cast and crew involved with the show is obscene. It's an obscene level of high quality. Just go and look through the IMDb, and if you're listening to this, like the people involved, the cast and the people making the show, the showrunners, we are spoilt that these are the people who are making Fallout, because these are people that know what they're doing. And through all the comments from them I've read, in that Variety article, it sounds like they've had a blast, and it sounds like they've had fun, and they've really lent into making this as good as it could possibly be, rather than, Jonathan Nolan being like a director for hire. This is like, they've worked this out, and he's wanted to make sure he gets this. His reputation's on the line. You got a big name like that. He's not just trying to get a job in Hollywood. He has a reputation to uphold. He has a name to uphold, so he's going to want it to be good. Everyone involved with it's going to want it to be good, hopefully. So yeah, the stellar cast. I've mentioned it before, but Walton Goggins as well, and somebody, I think I did know Michael Emerson was in this, but it wasn't until his appearance in this trailer that that snapped me into like, oh my god, again, the cast here is so good. I love Michael Emerson so much, and I'm a big Lost fan, but I think even outside of Lost, just his acting, his skill as an actor is top tier stuff. You know, this is not somebody trying to break through. You know, he's legacy. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to bring a level of quality. And just in terms of Fallout and wanting that weirdness and creepiness, who better than Michael Emerson? I mean, he's going to bring it. And yeah, just watching this trailer, you know, there was so much in there to enjoy. Just even the opening, the character choosing to leave the vault, and we get the classic vault opening shot. And then you hear Michael Emerson start to talk. Vault dwellers are an endangered species. You know, do you have what it takes to survive? I think he says. This is great lines. And then we just have the dog ripping apart, I guess the cockroach, or, you know, the rad roach that it's been eating. And that's the like horror comedy combination I'm talking about. Yeah, just I had such a big smile on my face. What else was in the trailer? I mean, the shot of the dog with the hand in his mouth is standout, and I think everybody is now looking at this dog like, yep, they've done it. They could have quite easily made this show without putting a dog in it. It's going to be a lot of production hassle, but no, they've done it. We've got the dog, and I think everybody's like, yep, dog VIP already. Haven't even seen the show. Everyone's loving the dog, and that hand in the mouth is just, yeah, perfect Fallout. The soundtrack, that I Don't Want to See Tomorrow by Nat King Cole. This is a song that my dad would play growing up, so I don't want to say I got emotional when it came on, but I instantly, it just got shot back to when I was a child. And it's funny because I don't think this is a song that has been used in Fallout before. I don't think it's on any of the radio stations. You know, they could have just gone with I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire, but I think that's probably too on the nose. So they chose something different, and I think they nailed it. You know, what a great song choice for this trailer. It fits right in the world. And yeah, and personally for me, I was like, it's the song. This is I don't want to see is it I don't want to see tomorrow? I don't want to be, what is it? I don't want to hurt anymore. I can't remember the exact name of the song, but it's a Nat King Cole song, right? And yeah, my dad is a big shall we say Rat Pack soul fan, swing and soul, and yeah, my mum really loves like old school soul as well. My nan was a big fan of Nat King Cole. We had a Nat King Cole song was played at my nan's funeral too, and that song started playing, and it really, really hit me in the feels because this was so much of what I love coming together. The trailer, it also says from the studio that brought you The Boys, which obviously The Boys is an incredible show. And it says, and free 2-day shipping, which, I mean, I kind of didn't like that when it said free 2-day shipping, but in a weird way, that kind of leans into the humor as well. I mean, I don't think Amazon need to be getting in there, you know, self-plugging in a Fallout TV show trailer. But yeah, so... what else did we have? So we saw shots of like Ruckus in the vault as well. Lots of fighting and shooting. There was a character with the fork in her eye, just spinning around with the machine gun. Like, so obviously something goes down in the vault. Interested to see what's going on there. We got our first proper look at Walton Goggins as the Ghoul character. And then there's something else in the trailer that I just wanted to touch on. So obviously the Cyclops Overseer, which according to IMDb, his name is Overseer Hank. And like really weird. I saw that and I just laughed. I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. Like, you know, mutations and yeah, it's just Fallout. Like, I don't think we've had a Cyclops character ever in Fallout, but I'm not opposed to having one here. But weirdly, I saw a lot of... Well, okay, I don't know if I saw a lot. This is the stupid thing with social media sometimes, is it likes to feed you the negative stuff more than the positive stuff. But I definitely saw some very uncharacteristic hate hate or dislike from people in the Fallout community, which you don't really see. And there are a few people very unhappy with this Cyclops character. I'm just going to say, I don't get it. I haven't seen a single reason for... Sorry, I'm just going to mute my phone. That seems to be going off while I'm recording. How very unprofessional. I haven't seen a single reason as to why this is bad. I think I've seen some people say... I think I read something that said this is not in the canon or not in the lore. And it's like, what? This... We don't have the entire world of Fallout, every single location, every vault written down somewhere that's now being ignored. So, I don't know. I don't really want to dwell on this, but I just dwell. But I was just surprised to see that because I saw it and thought it was hilarious. I can't. It was unsettling, and the way he's like, oh, grabbed a moldy one while he's like trying to drink his coffee or something. I don't get it. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe as I get older, like it's very difficult for me to be bothered by stuff anymore. Or if I don't like something, I'm generally quite good at just moving on with my life and just not tweeting about it. Believe me, I still do tweet some opinions sometimes. But I mean, when it comes to stuff I really, really am into, I understand why people get protective of it. But even with Fallout and with Resident Evil and Gears of War, none of them have ever done anything that has... Okay, that's not true. There's been a couple of things in Resident Evil that they have done which have very, very much upset me. But for the most part, yeah, I'm not going to worry about a TV show adaptation doing something that... It's not like we suddenly cut to a shot on the moon and there's like a moon base or something. It'd be like, huh, okay, that's interesting. Like, we don't really have stuff like that, at least not to my knowledge, stuff like that in Fallout, so that's new. No, this was a mutated character, right? And literally mutations and weird creations and stuff is... like central to Fallout. Why is this a problem? I don't get it. I don't get it. If maybe it just looks weird and people don't like things that look weird. I don't know. But I thought it was great. And so that Cyclops discourse, I do not get. There was some great action in the trailer. You saw explosions. You saw, obviously the power armor. God, we haven't even really talked about the power armor. Everyone wondered how they were going to pull this off. Looks like they've done it for the most part, if almost completely practically as well. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of CG and visual effects, digital visual effects in there, but it looked mostly practical. What looked like a Yaguai just like dragging one of the I guess Brotherhood of Steel people in power armor along the floor. That Brotherhood of Steel ship looks incredible, by the way. You see in the trailer there's like something there on the landing strip that looks like it's holding parts of bombs, and I wonder if that shot of the Brotherhood of Steel people was from before the war, or maybe it wasn't, because I think we saw a shot of the character Maximus, who's like this squire character, who's one of the main characters of the show. I think he was in that shot, so I guess it's not pre-bombs dropping. We did very, very interestingly get a brief shot of Walton Goggins pre-war. So Walton Goggins is playing the Ghoul character, but then there was a shot of him in the trailer, with his cowboy hat on, getting on a horse, I think, with a young child. And if you look behind him, there's like buildings falling down. So that's bombs drop day, right? It has to be. And something that the Last of Us TV show did very, very well is its cold opens, its episode opens, and the pre-wasteland or the pre-apocalypse stuff they did was really harrowing and really good. And I think with all the craziness in the wasteland of Fallout, I think if they're going to visit before the bombs dropping, I think that's where they could really plant some horrific stuff and really tense stuff, where it's like stuff where we see, it's like, oh yeah, that's our world and this could happen, and then we end up in the weird Fallout world or whatever, that kind of thing. So I'm intrigued to see that. And the final shots with the bombs dropping, very, very scary, very kind of Terminator, reminiscent, Judgment Day and all that kind of stuff. We did get a slightly alternate trailer at the Game Awards, which had a few other shots in. We got some extended shots of like the city area and Michael Emerson. We saw that other weird creature as well with like the fingers inside its mouth. That is weird. That looks like an original creation. I don't think that's existed in Fallout before. But yeah, and then obviously we heard Walton Goggins' Ghoul character speaking, and he said the line, "War never changes," which is great. You know, it's awesome to hear that. And yeah, that's where we're at. I mean, this trailer, as I said, biggest takeaway, the faithfulness, the attention to detail, the effects look good, the creatures look good, it's got the quirkiness, there's so much there. I've heard that we're getting a origin story for the Vault Boy, you know, where that design came from. I'm intrigued to see that. Yeah, Todd Howard has mentioned that this show is canon with the games as well. They've confirmed it takes place 9 years after Fallout 4. So yeah, are we going to get some reminiscence of the synths? You know, what ending are they taken? I guess the Brotherhood of Steel are still around, so maybe they're taking it that the Brotherhood of Steel was like the main ending. I don't know. I mean, they could probably get away with doing it where they don't necessarily have to acknowledge the ending too much of Fallout 4 because it's in a different part of the States. So yeah, it could be separate. I'm just kind of beside myself with how awesome this looks, and I'm counting down the months, the weeks for this. Eric and I will have a discussion before the show arrives, obviously, and he's going to let you know his thoughts on the trailer on today's episode, but that's where I stand. I'm hyped, I'm pumped. 2 big news stories. The Expeditions, yeah, it's awesome they're here. Not massively for me, but I really appreciate that they're here. Another free update. There's other stuff going on in the world of gaming, the Game Awards and all this. I'm not going to talk about that today, but Fallout World, the update with the game, with 76. Oh, and we did get a Vault 33, a Vault 33 Vault suit as well for use in Fallout 76, which I quite appreciated. We've mentioned in the past how we really think the games should do a lot of crossover and cross-promotion. Obviously, the show is not out yet, but that's kind of like the first hint of some kind of cross-promotion. I really, really hope they do more. You know, put one of the characters from the show in the game. Do it. Please do it. I would absolutely love that. Yeah, I loved the trailer. I thought it looked amazing. I don't really have any criticism. I know some people do out there. People are passionate. Give it to me all day long. Hook it to my veins. Yeah, I'm excited. Hope you guys are as well. Right, I'm going to pass over to Eric. He's going to give you all his thoughts too, talk about what he's been up to. I'll be back at the end to round things out. Till then, I'll catch you in a bit.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. So yeah, we've had a huge content update. A lot of stuff to get into, and a lot of it is going to tie into my gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead and just get into my gameplay and talk about the new update as I'm going along. So a lot of my gameplay lately has been Fallout 76. I've definitely still been playing Starfield, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of 76. I don't know if I've talked about this on the show or not, but I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76, not just on Xbox, but also PC. I've been a lot more social with my gaming lately, and it's been a lot of fun. Pretty recently, I got to drop a nuke on Xbox for the first time. One of my friends, Kaiju Kittens, I joined her stream on a Wednesday night, and she, along with Cigar Mampa, helped me through the silo to where I dropped not just 1 but 2 nukes. She was going to trash a camp and rebuild it. So we dropped a nuke on that camp, and then we also dropped a nuke to spawn a Scorchbeast Queen event. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, my character is well over level 400 on Xbox right now, and had never dropped a nuke before. I think I'm about level 430 now on Xbox. And yeah, that was the first time dropping a nuke with that character. I've tried it before. I've started one a couple of times, and I got a little ways in, about to the reactor, but never actually finished. It's definitely something you want to do. Like, I know people who do solo silos all the time. I have not done that, obviously. And the last time I had tried to do a solo was quite a long time ago. I don't even remember exactly what my level was at that point. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. And we recently did an expedition this past Wednesday. The three of us did an expedition together. That was a lot of fun. I can't remember. I don't think it was tax evasion. I don't think it was tax evasion. I think we did the other one. I'm blanking on the name of it. I jokingly called it The Greatest Showman. It's not called The Greatest Showman, but I just thought that was kind of funny. It's something along those lines. But tonight, as I'm recording this on December the 9th, I'm actually going to be dropping my first nuke on PC. As you are listening to this, it's probably already happened, but you can go to my friend Ms. Max's Twitch page, and hopefully the VOD will be available. I've been playing a lot more on PC, as I mentioned. It's so funny because up until recently, I don't even think my PC character had reached level 20 yet. And since I've been a lot more social on PC, my character is nearly to level 100 within just a couple of months, really. It's crazy. But that's the main reason why I started playing on PC again, is because a lot of my friends only play on PC. So I've been joining them. People like Don McCormick, Sassy Lady from the Fallout Roundtable podcast. Go check them out. She helped me get into my 30s and really hooked me up when it came to weapons and armor. She gave me a really nice fixer that I still use. And then I've been playing, of course, with Ms. Max and a few other people. Boki, I can't remember exactly how. I don't think anybody knows how to properly pronounce Baoki's name. Call him Brent. Shout out to you, dude. You're awesome. He recently hooked me up with a shitload of leader bobbleheads, along with a bunch of other stuff. Ms. Max, who I mentioned earlier, hooked me up with a lot of plans. Thank you so much. You're awesome. But yeah, I started doing the Wastelanders story on PC as well because I hadn't finished that. And I have finished Wastelanders on Xbox. I finished it when I was in my 30s, but I went Settlers because mainly I didn't know any better. I didn't know how much more interesting the Raiders were. So I wanted to see the Raider side. I'm going to do both parts, both Settlers and the Raiders, up until I have to make a choice, and I'm going to go Raiders with this character because I haven't seen that. And the main reason why I wanted to finish Wastelanders again is so I can have access to the gold bullion vendor in the vault, so I can finally get a full set of Secret Service armor that includes a jetpack, because I've gotten to the point where I've got legendary perks. So I've got what rads, I've got I've got Master Infiltrator, and once I actually do hit level 100, I'm going to get Ammo Factory. And I've got Marsupial and all that stuff, but I don't have a jetpack, and I'm really missing my jetpack when I'm on PC. So, and this also brings me to the expeditions. I started an expedition on Xbox. I did tax evasion, and you get to the point where you've got to chuck the assets into the back of the truck. It says place the assets into the getaway trucks. I first tried it solo on Xbox, and I didn't know what the hell to do. It's like, okay, do I go in there and will there be a button to push to, place it? Didn't know what to do. I'm getting overwhelmed by overgrowth and these showmen, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck do I do? So later on that night, I tried it with Ms. Max and I think Joliet, and we couldn't figure out what to do either. It's like, okay, how do we do this? Like they're doing crowd control and also gathering the assets. I'm trying to gather the assets, and I didn't know what the hell to do. So I asked on Twitter. I was like, okay, am I stupid? Like, what do I do? And I had a couple of people tell me, along with people in Discord, it's like, oh, you chuck it like a grenade. You throw it like a grenade. Like, how the hell did I not notice this? So that was kind of a dumb moment for me, but thank you guys to those of you who gave me the answer. So since then, I have soloed both of them. I've soloed, both of the ones for that part of Atlantic City, because you go to Atlantic City and you have the two different locations, but both locations could give you completely different sets of quests. So some of them, like there's the one where you got to go deal with the showman and you have to collect the assets and deliver them to the getaway dump trucks. And then you go in and you've got to find these terminals that has some data that you need to scrub. Great. And then you go take care of the boss. And then that's it. The other one, I can't remember exactly what it is you do outside. I'm pretty sure you're also taking out overgrowth and showman. And then you go inside and you have to disable, or you have to enable some listening bugs. I think that's what you're enabling them or disabling them. I can't fucking remember. Also, Sal is wanting you to rig these different slot machines, gather the winnings, and find a person who tried to cheat the system and died as a result. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that. It's something that you can do super quickly on your own, but it does help if you have somebody with you. Like Kelsey mentioned, they are wanting you to do these with a group, but you can do these solo. Technically, you could do the pit solo, but it was a really difficult task, especially there at the end with the trog. Like, the fanatics were no joke in the pit. I mean, it might help the fact that I've got a holy fire that is really awesome. Thank you, Chris from One Wall Comedy on YouTube, gifted me a holy fire that is awesome. It's become one of my main weapons. My heavy hitter regular weapon for sure. I do have a big gun that I use for bosses, like Queenie or Earl. Oh, that's another thing. As you guys may know, I'm a part of the Modus Files podcast. I've voiced 3 characters during my time there. I'm still voicing 2. One of my characters has died. And this season, with my character Douglas, we are going to be taking on Earl Williams. If you've kept up with the show, you already know this. It's not spoilers. He's also announced the episode list for this season, at least part of it. Myself, along with a lot of other people with the Modus Files crew, Jessica Starr, Chrissy Williams, who plays Trader Red, Lawrence himself, and a couple others went down and did an Earl event, so we can get sound for the show. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. A couple other people joined later. Chris from One Wall Comedy on YouTube. He was held up with doing voice acting classes with Wes Johnson. If you haven't done that, please do. Do yourself a favor. I need to do that myself at some point. It's a little difficult with my schedule. But yeah, he joined right after we finished. We got a group picture, which I posted on YouTube. Or not YouTube, but Twitter. Yeah, we got a group picture right at the Monongah Mine sign. That was great. And also XO1 King joined a little bit after while we were all doing a Moonshine Jamboree. That was great. Also Dweller's dog was there. He's done some artwork promoting the show. And yeah, that was great. So hopefully we can do that again soon. It doesn't have to be specifically for something involving the show, but I always love hanging out with the Modus Files crew. And okay, yes, back to the expedition. So I was actually hanging out with Chris and Chrissy while they were in an expedition today. They were ranking up XP because there's a little bit of a trick to where you can farm XP, where Overgrowth and Showman will just keep coming wave after wave after wave after wave after wave. And you can just farm them. There's no time limit on these, unlike daily. I mean, yeah, there's no time limit with the expeditions for the rewards, just like before. The daily ops are the ones for that. So yeah, I hopped in for a little bit with them to farm some XP. The Overgrowth, in my opinion, look like Swamp Thing from DC Comics. If you're familiar with the character, it looks like a combination, like a mix of Swamp Thing and the creature from the Black Lagoon. That's just what came to mind. They look just like Swamp Thing. It's great. I do love the new enemies, and once you are done with the tasks and you're on your way back to the Vertibird, you might encounter some lesser devils, or actually maybe the Jersey Devil himself. And yeah, you get some great rewards. Like I said, you don't have to do these with a group. I would recommend, if you can, unless you've got a shitload of ammo, because that final boss is a bullet sponge. Like, I don't think I've actually died doing one of these solo. I've come pretty damn close, but I've also got a lot of stim packs. So it is possible. I know a lot of people are down on expeditions, myself included. I was down on expeditions with the pit because there was a lot of gatekeeping involved. I was definitely a victim of that. I think I told this story on the show where I was doing Ashes to Fire. I think it was Ashes to Fire. And we just took out the Trogs, and we were on our way to the Vertibird to leave the pit, and I got kicked. And I messaged the guy, I'm like, dude, what the hell? And he's like, you didn't help enough. Like, okay, don't be a dick. You're the reason why a lot of people don't like these, along with daily ops. Quit being a gatekeeper. And he's like, not my problem. Go screw yourself. I'm like, all right, that's how it's going to be. So I didn't really do any expeditions after that. Thankfully, since then, I've got a lot more friends that I can do these with, so not just a bunch of randoms. But I know not everybody is fortunate in that capacity. So if you do have friends that you can do these with, definitely have fun with it. It's a great thing. I welcome it. And I do think that they were listening to feedback with the pit, because they've made a lot of good changes coming off of the pit. One thing that I do wish that you could do, and I swear, they hinted that this was a thing where you could explore Atlantic City without having to do an expedition, without having to start an expedition. And that is not the case. I really wish that you could do that, and that was a thing. They kind of hinted at that, but that, unfortunately, was not the case. You do have to start an expedition to visit Atlantic City. Now, we do know that this is just part 1 of 2. I believe the next part of this is coming in the spring. I want to say February or March. I can't remember. The Fallout feed did mention that last night. Shout out to them. I want to say it's early March. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Or, I mean, if you want to, you can at me at IanGold08 on Twitter. But, yeah. So that is my take on the new expansion to Fallout 76. Hopefully you guys were able to pick up your Vault 33 suit in the Atom Shop with Fallout 76, because they were giving away the Vault suit from the Fallout TV show for free. So Yes, the TV show. We've had a couple of trailers now. We had the one that started out, or that preluded the Comic-Con thing in Brazil. And then we got another little bit of that with the Game Awards. So, yes, I thought that trailer was amazing. Everything that I could have hoped for. We did get a little bit more information. So, but there's a lot of speculation with it, and apparently a lot of controversy, which Kelsey talked about. Didn't really make sense to me. But yes, I thought that trailer was amazing. I've seen it several times now, and each time that I watch it, I notice something new. So we got the Brotherhood of Steel, we got Lucy, we've got Walton Goggins. I keep wanting to say Walter. We got a Yaogwai. We've got an FEV creature with fingers moving inside its mouth, growing out of its mouth. Don't know what exactly that is. I've heard mutated gecko, which would make sense considering it's more West Coast. Yeah, we've got a riot in a vault. I don't know, we don't know which vault it is. We know Lucy is from Vault 33, and we do see her coming out of the vault with blood on her mouth, but we don't know exactly what that's from. We saw a Radroach also. That was really good, and a dog. We don't know if it's specifically dog meat. I want to say it's dog meat, but he is got a hand in his mouth. That was awesome. But people are losing their minds over the Cyclops dude. And I'm just scratching my head why is this a big deal? I don't think that he's part of Vault 33. He's probably a part of Vault 32. And we don't even know if he's the Overseer himself. We know the Overseer from Vault 33 is Lucy's dad, who is a prolific actor. His name's Kyle something. I'm blanking on his name, but very prolific actor. We know that that's the Overseer for Vault 33. We don't know who this Cyclops dude is. We don't even know what the Vault experiments are for these two vaults. I'm thinking that because Lucy said at the beginning of the trailer that she's led a mostly comfortable life, that this is going to kind of be a control vault, like Vault 101. But we don't know what the experiment is with the other one. It could be that could be a result of whatever experiment's going on in that guy's vault. There's just a lot of things we don't know, but these trailers did shed light on a lot of good things, and we did get the War Never Changes line, sends chills down my spine every time. But yeah, the everything that I've seen looks great. We did see a bit of Walter. I keep saying Walton Goggins pre-war. We saw him loading a little girl on a horse, and his shirt or jacket or whatever was Vault-Tec colors. What is his backstory? We're gonna probably get a little bit of his backstory in the show, but there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm just can't wait to see it. April of 2024. Can't wait. I'm sure Kelsey and I will be getting together soon to discuss this more in depth, and we're still going to be doing lore episodes. I want to start a series here pretty soon on the different vaults and what their experiments are, just kind of speculating as to what this could be. So, anyway, I'm going to hand this back over to Kelsey, and I will see you all in the wasteland.
Thanks, as always, to Sulior for giving his contribution to Tapes from the Wastes. That about does it for this episode. Obviously, if you like what you heard today, please do subscribe on your podcast platform of choice. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Give us a rating or a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It really, really helps us out. Thank you, as always, to our loyal listeners. Come and follow us on what is currently still Twitter. I mean, it's not still Twitter. What is currently still working. God knows what state that website's going to be in a little while. But we are on Twitter. X. I don't call it X. The URL in the top still says Twitter, so it's Twitter for me. TFTW pod on there, where we tweet out some thoughts and other stuff about Fallout, everything we're doing. Come and listen to our other shows. Links are in the description as always. There's plenty of other Bethesda game coverage with Eric's show and our other show, Starfield Sandwich. And we also talk about Nintendo stuff on, Eric has his Nintendo show, I have my Gears of War show, part of First Aid Spray for Resident Evil. It's all there, you all know, regular listeners will know. Find everything you need in the description. Yes, onwards to 2024, we're rounding out 2023 with this episode. We may do another one before the end of 2023, I don't know, we'll see. I've got some time off work coming up where I'm going to cram some content creation in, so maybe we could get a look. We did do a look back at the previous year episodes, so we might do that actually before 2023 is out. So if we don't, we'll see you in 2024. Hope everyone enjoys their holiday season, however you celebrate, and thanks as always for listening. Until next time, stay safe out there, Wanderers.